There is nothing necessarily extraordinary about an upset victory in politics. It happens, but the political enigma reaches a whole new level when the Democratic nominee for the U.S. Senate in South Carolina is accused of being a plant by the Republicans, and when the third-ranking Democrat in the House calls for an investigation. In our third story tonight, that nominee, Alvin Green, will join us in a moment, and we'll have a full opportunity to address all aspects of the controversy. Mr. Green, an unemployed veteran, defeated a former state representative, Vic Rawl, for the Democratic nomination for the Senate seat currently held by the Republican Jim DeMint. The primary garnered little notice until after Mr. Green won, until after the Associated Press reported that Mr. Green had been arrested in November of last year on a charge of felony obscenity. The South Carolina Democratic Party chairwoman, Carol Fowler, yesterday called on Mr. Green to withdraw, but he has reportedly declined to do so. And now House Majority Whip Jim Clyburn of that state has called for an investigation into Mr. Green's candidacy. Congressman Clyburn, along with other South Carolina Democrats, have focused on how an individual not currently employed produced the filing fee of $10,400. Congressman Clyburn has pointedly said, quote, somebody gave him that $10,000, and he who took it should be investigated. He who gave it should be investigated. As to whether Mr. Green is an actual plant by the Republican Party,
there were some real shenanigans going on in the South Carolina primary.
Do you think he was a Republican plant?
I don't know if it was a Republican plant. It was somebody's plant.
Congressman Clyburn also charged today that two other South Carolina Democratic winners may have been, quote, plants. One is Gregory Brown, who ran against Mr. Clyburn in the Democratic primary. Clyburn easily prevailed, but he questions how Brown paid for expensive television ads. Quoting Clyburn, somebody paid for all that, yet he showed not one dime in contributions. And there's this man, Ben Frazier, who evidently does not have a campaign website, yet he defeated an establishment candidate in the Democratic primary in the 1st District by 10 points. Of those three candidates, Clyburn said, quote, sounds like a pattern to me. Joining me now, as promised, the Democratic Senate nominee for South Carolina, Alvin Green. Mr. Green, thanks for your time tonight.
All right, thank you.
Let me start by asking you, what was your
Thank you for having me.
What was your campaign like? Did you hold a lot of meetings?
Okay, say that again.
What was your campaign like? Did you have a lot of campaign meetings?
I had just a few meetings, not many.
Did you have campaign rallies?
Nothing formal, just informal rallies, just informal meetings, rather.
Did you go door to door to meet the voters? How did they find out who you were?
I just conducted a simple, old-fashioned campaign, you know, all across the state of South Carolina.
Did you have campaign advertising of any kind?
I had campaign literature. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Many
campaign literature.
Many first-time politicians get surprised by how much fundraising they have to do to make the expenses of a campaign. How much fundraising did you do?
Not much. I used my own funds up to this point in the primary and up until right now.
How do you think the people who voted for you on Tuesday knew who you were, or even that you were running?
I think that, you know, I think that they saw, I think that they, you know, I just think that they recognized, I think they heard of my name when I was campaigning across the state, you know, just to pass the word on, just by word of mouth. But I just got the word around, you know. It was not luck. I had 60% of the vote. I had 60% of the vote. 60% of the vote is not luck. You know, that's a decisive win. 60.
What do you know about Vic Rawl?
I know that he's currently on the Charleston County Council, and he used to be a circuit court judge. He used to be a South Carolina state legislator, and that he's 64 years old.
Just kidding.
About the filing fee that Mr. Clyburn mentioned for your candidacy, did that money come from your own funds? Did you supply that money?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a Twitter account? Did you start a Twitter account for your campaign today?
No, I haven't.
So announcements that supposedly...
And I would like...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but I heard that there are some... I have people calling, and there's just some false sites out there that I'm not operating. You know, that's something that I just got today, that there are false sites out there, you know, relating to me and my campaign. And I just want to let everyone know that there are sites out there that don't have my authority.
The charge of felony obscenity last year, would you care to address that with this opportunity to do so?
I have no comment on that.
Can you say whether or not a public defender was assigned to you?
That I'm not commenting on.
Do you think that between now and the campaign or the vote when you're campaigning against Mr. DeMint, that at some point you're going to have to address that question?
Yes.
Congressman Clyburn suggested that you were planted in this campaign, possibly by Republicans. Why should we believe he's not telling the truth and you are?
Like I said before, I've always been a Democrat, and I still will be a Democrat in the future and support Democrats.
The state chairman of the Democratic Party has asked you to withdraw from the Senate race. Will you withdraw?
No. No, sir.
Alvin Green, the Democratic nominee for the Senate from South Carolina. Thank you for your time tonight, Mr. Green.
All right, thank you.
Alvin Green. 2 notes. The other voice you might have heard in the background was a man purporting to be Mr. Green's attorney who was standing just out of camera range and we thought was perhaps giving him some of those answers. Also, South Carolina's primary, you should know, is open. Republicans may vote for Democrats.